Hello, fifth graders. We're going to try something a little different today. I'm not going to split the screen. I'll still be in the screen, but I am going to be able to just be in this top little corner while we go through the presentation today. So we've been working on volume, and we just completed a lesson on Monday of volume with composite shapes, which is more than one three-dimensional shape put together. Composite shapes can also be two-dimensional. Today we're going to focus on two-dimensional shapes. Today your task is going to be that in your Google document, you're going to fill in the T-chart and write down the name of the shape on one side of the document and everything you know about the shape on the other side of the document. When you open up the document attached to this lesson, you will see an example. So you're going to put the shape on one side and then everything you know about the shape on the other side. Don't just write the very basic things. I want you to think deeply about your shapes. Pull back to fourth grade and think about all the information you learned about shapes in third and second and fill those details in. Next, you're going to respond to some essential questions also on the document. Your first essential question is, how are these shapes different than 3D or three-dimensional shapes? We've learned all about three-dimensional shapes. Now, what makes those shapes different from a traditional two-dimensional shape? Your next essential question is, why don't these shapes have volume? Why doesn't a square have volume? Why doesn't a circle have volume? Essential question number 3 says, how can we measure these shapes? Think about what tools we can use to measure. Think about how we would measure and jot those notes down. Next, we're going to practice a shape sort. Today, we're going to do something a little bit new. So here's how you're going to do the shape sort. We're going to go to this website, web.seesaw.me. Please type in this exact website into your browser. Next, you're going to choose Login. Next, you're going to choose I'm a student. Then you're going to input your student code. Don't input an email address or password, okay? Only use the student code, and your student code is found in the spreadsheet attached to this lesson. Do the assignment assigned for the day. You'll see shape sort once you log in with your student code and do that shape sort. Have some fun with it. Have fun. Let me know if you need help. You can chat me if you have any questions. Now that you've done your shape sort, hopefully you've paused this video. If you haven't paused the video, go do your shape sort. Now that you've done the shape sort, we can think about how to classify two-dimensional shapes. When you think about two-dimensional shapes, we could think about one of them, one big category, which is polygons. And polygons have all straight sides. It's a closed shape, meaning that if you were to drop like a little bouncy ball in the middle, it wouldn't be able to get out. It has no intersecting lines. That means the lines do not cross over each other, even for a tiny little bit. And there are no curves, like a circle or a moon. Those would not be polygons. Also, they note up here that it's flat and two-dimensional. Here are some ways that you can identify polygonal shapes. There are certain prefixes that you can use, and they make sense because if you think about triangle, 3 sides, tri means 3. If you think about quadrilateral, 4 sides. There are lots of different ways to make triangles, quadrilaterals, and so on. So take a moment, notice these, go through them, read them to yourself. You won't need to recall them instantly, but they're really good to know, and you should be familiar with these shapes. When you classify 2D shapes, we need to look closely at all of their attributes. Attribute is a fancy way of saying properties. We need to know how many sides they have. We need to look at the angles, the length, the types of angles. Here's another way that we can identify shapes. Let me move my video. You can see quadrilaterals, all sides are equal. 4 angles, this is a square. There are more ways to make these shapes, and they go through each and every one of them. This is a great list of geometric shapes, all polygonal shapes. And I know that they're polygons because they have all straight sides. Here's some important vocabulary terms. I'm not going to go through and read each one to you. Actually, I'll mention each one. So attributes, those are qualities of the shapes. Polygon is a plane shape, two-dimensional with straight sides. We talked about that in our previous 2 slides ago. Congruent means that the shape is the same size. So they're allowed to flip, slide, turn, but it's the same size. My hands are congruent right now. They're flipped, but they're the same size. Hopefully. Unless we got something weird going on here. Quadrilateral is a flat shape with 4 straight sides. An angle, those are different types. There's obtuse, which is bigger than 90 degrees. My arms are in an obtuse angle right now. There's 90 degrees. My arms are in a 90-degree angle, also known as a right angle. And then there's acute, and my arms are in an acute angle right now. Acute, I always remember because it's a little bit smaller than 90 degrees. Obtuse is a little bit larger and just sounds larger than 90 degrees. And a right angle is exactly 90 degrees. Parallelogram is 4 flat-sided shape with straight sides where the opposite sides are parallel. Now remember, parallel lines means they run right next to each other. So the lines that will never meet at an equal distance apart. These lines, think about a train track. Those train tracks can run forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Those 2 lines would never cross or intersect or meet unless you push them. Perpendicular lines are lines that meet and create a right angle. Just like this, my arms would be perpendicular lines. And intersecting lines, they will never meet or cross over. Oh, they will meet and cross, excuse me. Intersecting lines will meet and cross over. And that's it for today. So I want you to go make sure you check out your Google document. Where did my presentation go here? I want you to go make sure you check out your Google document and fill in all of the work. Thanks, friends.